Hello, and welcome to the experimental show. Happy to have you here. Today is Sunday morning. We hope you're having a great, fine morning. Watch me as I discover what kind of fun tools from the metal shop could I use to create some patterns in glass. This is the fun part. I get to dig through all the drawers and find these tools. I'm looking to do a piece in a coming up experimental show, but I want to figure out some patterns. The best way for me to do that is to take a variety of metal tools, push them into the glass, and see what happens. While the glass is hot, it will pick up all these different patterns, so I'm going to try a variety of tools. Looks like a peanut butter cookie. Here's another one. It's the recycled glass, so it's deep blue. I'm pushing all the tools in it. They're making slight patterns on them. I'll be able to look at these once they cool off. This is a giant drill bit. The trick about using a tool that's not a glass tool, though, is you can't remember exactly where you touched it to the glass, and if you pick it up wrong, it's hot. So I'm just basically testing these things out, seeing what I want to use for the next step. But being very mindful of which part touched the glass and which part was the hottest. This little grinding wheel I actually liked. It's a metal grinding wheel and it creates this unusual texture on the glass. And so that one I was interested in, and also interested in this tool. However, when I went to use this one later, it was very slippery. When I was using it at the bench, it just slid right off of the glass. So I don't think I'll be using that tool, but I could always make my own tool, which is something that glass blowers do. This one I'm using here is a pre-made glass tool. Everyone in the industry can purchase this tool. I'm kind of looking for some patterns and textures that maybe no one else has, so my finished glass will look unique and different. So away I go into the annealing oven and put it away, and now we're going to test it on some hot glass while I'm at the bench. So I'm just pulling out a tube. Again, I just want to check the different patterns. I'm going to do a couple different patterns on this one tube. It's not, I shouldn't say tube, it's solid, kind of like a solid handle. And I stiffen it up, let it cool off a little so that Jake, when he brings over the hot glass, it will stick to it, but that core will be nice and stable. So using different shears, I'm going to cut off what I need. Give Jake the nod. He's going to bring over that hot glass. The cool thing is with this, because I'm testing it, I'm going to roll it on one side and then I'm going to flip it over and put it on the other side. So I have two areas that I can fill in. And I go to use the first tool and see how it slipped on me. I like the pattern, but it's not quite what I was going for. Plus the tool is really awkward to use in my hands. So it wasn't a super successful maneuver, but that's why it's the experimental show. I'm figuring it out. Next is the grinding wheel. I really like the pattern this gave. However, what you don't know is that my fingers are frying as I'm doing this. It's super hot. The wheel is tiny. I'm right on top of that glass. If I was to use this for the finished piece, I would want to put a glove on. It was pretty darn hot. So back onto the brush, but the glass at this point is too cool. It's not working. Jake is going to use the torch. He's going to take it off the pipe. It kind of looks like this dark potato. We're going to have this at the glass shop so you can see it if you ever come in. This is going to help me gauge the next part of my experimental show and what I want to do. So each piece of glass, as you know, has to go into a cooling oven. This is got a lot of cobalt in it, so it's very dark. You can see where the glass is hot by the brighter orange color. It's flopping around. He's talking about the different patterns. I was successful. My favorite one was a pair of shears that I used and twisted the glass. Again, it's something when you come to the studio you can check out. And thanks for watching the experimental show. See you next week.